What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Soulblaze back at it again with another episode of Wine Swirlix. And look who it is today. It's the little boy, the little hootie, the little oogle himself, Rowlet, by huge request from one person in particular, which is my partner, and that takes priority over everything else. So everybody get back in the line. So we're covering Rowlet today. I really love Rowlet, man. It's really cool and underappreciated, so we're going to put some spotlight on it today. Hopefully, you guys will learn anything true about how we use Rowlet. And yeah, let's get right into it. Make sure to show your support. You already know what to do. I ain't got to tell you. Just got to show your support, bruh. Let's get right into it. Rowlet is a grass flying type. Now, this combo of typing has its ups and it has its downs. Very, very distinguished weakness and strength in the typing. I think it's a very good offensive typing, mostly because of the flying part, just because you can hit so much stuff, and grass also have some unique typings that it can hit for super effective, which not a lot of other types can. Water, for example, which is only weak to grass, and electric. So Rowlet does have some really good offensive combos with the typing here, and obviously I think it does make a really unique and cool Terra Captain as well, but obviously Rowlet is going to be under prioritized as a Terra Captain over pretty much everything else in the game. But in a perfect world where we are able to adapt to like a low point, low Terra thing for LC, I think Rowlet will really get to shine in the spotlight with Terra because it has so much utility from Terra. So that's a really cool thing, being able to change up your quad weakness and stuff like that. We'll get more into it with the sets, but yeah, it has huge upside potential with it. Okay, so for the stats are pretty okay, I'd say. The worst stat is speed, which, you know, speed is king, but obviously, as you can see, it gets stuff like Trailblaze, it gets dual stab in like the Ghost department with Shadow Sneak and the Dark department with Sucker Punch, so stuff like Abra is not going to get away too easy. You can also Scarf Dual Wing beat that, by the way. Stuff like that, so you know, Rowlet has ways to make up for its speed. It doesn't have agility or anything like that, but it doesn't really need it, obviously, either. You can also go for slower variants that rely more on priority to get more bulk out of it. And you also have the Scarf variant, which is really dependable and reliable and stuff like that. So although it's slow, it's not completely doomed. Obviously, being 1 point away from being 15 speed is really not optimal for Rowlet, poorly or sadly. Like, you would like to get the 15 speed here, but 14 speed can work. Like 14 speeders, like you're not completely out of the water. Like, you outspeed the bulky stuff, you Scarf to outspeed everything in the unboosted metagame still. Like, that's the lowest bar to do that. You know, Rowlet is okay in that department. So obviously, its move pool wise, it has a lot more physical coverage than it does special coverage. So it's a physical attacker for the most part, but it does have some special sets that it can cook with as well. And you can also run mixed if there's like a heavy physically defensive mon that can just kind of wall you out, or that's invested in physical defense anyhow, or has good physical defense stats. Mostly those are rock types, so you're good, but there are some steel types as well. You could definitely run like Fire Terra Blast, or you could run like Leaf Storm, Eject Pack, or stuff like that. Obviously, I've not put those in the items here. I have put the most consistent items on here. Lumberry is not one of them. I forgot to put away Lumberry, so let's just pretend Lumberry's not there because I can't be bothered to fix this shit right now. So it's not Lumberry, but you could put like Power Herb, Eject Pack. You could put Life Orb there, man. Just put Life Orb, just to pretend. Can we all pretend that Lumberry is just Life Orb just this one time? Just let me get away this one time. I swear to God, just let me get away. Okay, so in the special department, you got dual stab, you got variations of it too. So you got Leaf Storm, you got Giga Drain for HP, you got Energy Ball for like consistent power without item support, stuff like that. And then you obviously got like Solar Beam, which you can combine with or without Sunny Day. You got Ominous Wind with Terra Ghost, so you can get the boost and get going. That also gives you speed, the speed you need to win and succeed. Ooh, the speed you need to succeed. Oh, I'm on it today. So yeah, you got obviously the physical coverage is great. Having knockoff is it's such a saving grace for this thing, just because the switches becomes fewer, just because you can remove Eviolite on the switch. Depending, like if it switches into you one time, it loses its item. The second time it comes in, you trailblaze on the switch in, you're faster. You can now just punch holes pretty much, which is really cool. If you lose your item, you also have Covet to take one of their items again. You can definitely do stuff like that. You have multi-hit moves on both stabs, which is pretty good. You have high crit moves, so you can run like a scope lens, or I didn't really check if it gets focus energy, but that might also be a little variant if you want to get past like a really high stamina Mudbray, for example, and stuff like that. So definitely ways you can do it. There also get some pretty heat status moves. You get Nasty Plot for special set. You get 2 recovery moves. You get Synthesis for Sunny Day variants. You get Roost for getting away your flying weakness for certain moves. For like if you're faster, you could Roost up if you low, and then you don't take quad effectiveness from like Ice Beam or whatever. Maybe you live. It can be pretty hyped to use Roost that way. You obviously got the common standards Rest, Protect, Substitute, which you can use Protect to stall at. For example, you can use Protect to stall out snow. You can use Substitute to set up, and you can use like Rest for recovery. That's not like the Roost or Synthesis variants, for example. You also get Haze if you want to go bulky and stop setup options. You get Defog with Boots, so you become a reliable hazard remover, which is pretty good for Rowlet. Obviously, you don't want your heavy duty boots knocked off, so you got to be careful about that. But it also gets like Baton Pass, so you can Scarf it, and if Baton Pass as a move just by itself is allowed, obviously you cannot pass stat boosts, but you can Scarf and have Baton Pass as the last move, and then just have like a U-turn that doesn't do damage. You have momentum is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. You got Curse, so you can do like a bulky Curse setup physical sweeper variant with Terra Ghost, so that when you Terra Ghost, you take half your own HP, and then you put like a tag on your opponent that does 25% HP per turn. If you're really struggling with a certain counter, you could definitely cripple it that way. Obviously, you also got Light Screen. If you want to go that way, you can kind of go like physically bulky and do like a Light Screen, or you can do like even if you really need Light Screen and Rowlet is the only one that has it, you could definitely do Light Clay and just one screen like Light Screen if you really need that. For sure, you can do that. Also, it gets Toxic to counter really bulky stuff that's poison that can be toxic. It gets Endure if you want to lay. That's obviously Sunny Date, the goated move right there. So I've been kind of half asleep while making this, apparently. That's fine. So you got Sword Stance for the physical set, and you got Nasty Ball for the special set. So this thing has a lot of moves that it can do. The abilities, you want to go Overgrow most of the time, but Long Range is really underappreciated for a physical attacker such as Rowlet, just because there are going to be matchups where you have Flame Body Ponyta, Static Elekid, Flame Body Magby. You're going to have these matchups, and you can just run Long Range, and you don't have to care. Otherwise, like a Flame Body Ponyta could just come in on you for free and just take the damage and recover it off with Morning Sun Eviolite, or just proc its Berry Juice and be fine and start flame charging on you. But Long Range just eliminates the Flame Body chance just outright, which makes them more prone to run stuff like Flash Fire and stuff like that, which is really good for Rowlet. Burning is one of the ways you cripple Rowlet really effectively. So being able to Long Reach and eliminate that for the physical variants, you do that always. Overgrow is not bad either. Overgrowth is a really underrated ability. So you run that for the matchups that don't have like contact ability matchups like Ponyta, Pharaoh Seed, Iron Barb, stuff like that. So that is the Rowlet kind of like overview. So let's go on to the sets. I got some heat sets for Rowlet, okay? It's gonna be really, really fun to show you. First of all, we got the Bulky Boy. The Bulky Boy consists of, usually you want to run Brave Bird, knockoff, or maybe you can throw like Terra Blast if you have a plan for your Terra coverage. You can run like Leaf Blade if you really need the grass coverage for a matchup. Obviously, these are very far from written in stone. It's just to give you some sort of idea. This thing really appreciates Eviolite, obviously, but you could also run Heavy Duty Boots on this. You could also run Berry Juice on this, which is really consistent. You can run Resist Berry. Obviously, things are going to want to hit you with Ice moves, so you can do Yachi, or you can even do a Resist Berry that covers your Terra typing, so you can go Terra Ghost and then have a Colbur Berry with Roost, for example. You could definitely do that, so you get resisted knockoff damage and stuff like that while having knockoff yourself. If you need defog, you run defog. If you need roost, you need roost. It's like these things are, it just has a lot of tools, so it's going to be impossible for me to suggest like 4 Rowlet moves that are perfect like in this video, but you have to look at the matchup. This is a very, Rowlet can be really tailored down to specific matchups, which is insanely good, which makes Rowlet a really sleeper pick in my opinion, because it always has 4 really good moves for a matchup in my opinion. Like, you're never gonna not have use for a Rowlet. Even if there's like 6 fire types, it can just like endure, it can Terra Water, Terra Fire. Like, it can do something. I swear to God, even without Terra, you might get a Shadow Sneak off before you die. Like, worst case, if that's it, you know? And stuff like that. So it's really good. It's really good. Multi-hit moves, got it. Recovery, got it. Everything like that. Like, utility, by far, got it. So the Bulky Boy is like, you can run the Curse if you want. You can run utility if you want, like Roost or Defog or Haze or Light Screen or whatever. Baton Pass, you can have Soul Momentum. You can do a lot of stuff there. But the main gist of it is like, you have a bulky Rowlet that goes last and then pulls out its utility last, or relies on stab or priority or item removal. That's like the main way. So Terra Ghost Curse can cripple something. Non-Terra Ghost Setup can also do something. And stuff like that. So that's like the bulky Rowlet where that comes in. And that runs long reach because it does physical attacks. Next up, we have on the top right, we have Choice Scarf, which is one of my favorite ways of running Rowlet, just because of the speed that Rowlet gets, which is really underappreciated. Obviously, this hits 21 speed. You have to boost to match it or something like that. Knock off its Scarf, or, you know, you have to do something, or else Rowlet kind of outspeeds you. You have to Scarf it yourself or something, right? You use priority, or else Rowlet goes first. So it's very like, it puts a condition on the opposite side of the court, which is pretty good. Long range for physical attacks, you can run Dual Stab, you can run Knockoff, you can run Terra Blast with a specific coverage, you can run Bullet Seed or Dual Wing Beat if you want to do like a Murkit, which is like running Dual Wing Beat for the Sticky Web users in the tier that are weak to flying, and then you have Dual Flying, like a multi-hit flying move to take care of them. Bullet Seed can also break rock types sturdies or stuff like that, which is really good. You can knock off their Berry Juice and eliminate the sturdy Berry Juice aspect completely. You can also do this while terraing to a certain typing that makes you harder to beat, so you don't become weak to rock, for example. You can totally do all these things, but the main way with the Scarf is that you run Baton Pass if it's legal. If the league allows it, you run Baton Pass so that you have a momentum move that you can lock in. If you don't want to commit to a Brave Bird or a Leaf Blade or whatever you have it, if you don't want to commit to doing damage and being stuck and locked in, you can Baton Pass to switch out, and this can force switches and give you momentum. This can be really good. So that's the Scarfer. The Physical Sweeper is the defined standard Rowlet that we've known for many years now. Even back in Sun and Moon when it first came out, this is like the Rowlet Inception set, where it runs Sword Stance and either 3 attacks or Sword Stance Roost 2 attacks, and it runs like Berry Juice or Life Orb mostly, but I've also put Resist Berry, Heavy Duty Boots, and Eviolite on here because those are matchup specific items that are incredible for Rowlet. And obviously we are in Scarlet and Violet, so Heavy Duty Boots are a thing. Some leagues allow Berry Juice, some do not, so you have to see and read the rule set of your league. But obviously, if you have Berry Juice and Brave Bird, you can take the Recall and gain HP back up. You can also do Brave Bird with Roost, so you have the Recall and then you have the Recovery to make that up. You could do a specific Terra typing outside of the ones I've listed here as well. Obviously, I've listed the 4 most consistent Terra typings for it personally, I think. It's Dual Stab, Fire Ghost. Grass types with Fire coverage, really appreciate that for stuff like Bug types, for example, and thing of the sort. So other grass types as well, it's really good for. And obviously you're gonna be stuck versus dragons, which resist both those, but you know you have a flying stab too that you can use, so you're never completely out of the water in that way. So, but yeah, the main gist is you run Sword Stance. Life Orb is really consistent on that set too, just because of the damage, but you have to be wary that if you run Brave Bird and Life Orb, you're gonna take a shit ton of recoil. You're gonna get the damage you're looking for, but you're gonna take a bajillion billion truckloads of recoil, especially because the more damage you do, the more recoil it is. Not for Life Orb, but for Brave Bird. But then you obviously have the Life Orb recoil, which takes per attack as well. So You can run priority because this set does kind of need priority to work for the most part. You can do sucker, you can do sneak, but I feel like that's one of the most consistent moves on this set, on a set such as a sweeper set, just because you're not setting up your speed in any way here, which means that priority can be really nice to get some kills on some faster mons that are faster than you but would die to like a +2 super effective shadow sneak, or just like a +2 neutral shadow sneak that are frail fast mons. You know, you get what I'm saying. So, and you obviously can also do a sword stance with like a multi-hit move, so you kind of break the sturdy user completely, you just kill it and stuff like that. So there's a lot of variation here. You could also do trailblaze for speed and then drop the priority. If you have a way to boost your speed, priority becomes less valuable just because there's less need for it. Obviously you can run both, it depends on the matchup. So last but not least, we have the special heat set. Literally the first Terra type I'm gonna recommend to you here is fire, because this set is fire and Rowlet can become fire. Sunny Day, Solar Beam, Synthesis, Terra Blast, fire. So you have grass fire coverage, really strong solar beams, and you can run Life Orb with this. You can run Eevee Light if you want survivability. You can run Berry Juice if you want survivability. And you can also mix up this set. You can run it without the Sunny Day, but then I do recommend Giga Drain or like Leaf Storm. If you run Nasty Plot Leaf Storm, don't run a Jetpack, because then you want to stay in and abuse the boost. So you can Leaf Storm like twice, but you can do like a Life Orb. If you're just running Leaf Storm and just like not Nasty Plot, not Sunny Day, just like Leaf Storm on a special set or a physical set with just Leaf Storm, a Jetpack can be a good idea for momentum. You don't run Baton Pass, you just run a Jetpack. When you Leaf Storm, you get the damage off, you get the drop from Leaf Storm, and then a Jetpack triggers to switch you out into one of the other members, which is really insanely good. Obviously, you can run, if you run Solar Beam, again, without Sunny Day or Nasty Plot, I would recommend you to run Power Herb, just because then you could just do like one Solar Beam to kill a target, or you could be like, after that's done and you have no item, if there's something that cannot kill Rowlet, you can set up, like you can do another Solar Beam if you don't die in the meantime. Giga Drain is probably going to be the most consistent like special coverage for it, but if you run Sun, run Solar Beam. If you run Leaf Storm by itself, run a Jetpack. Synthesis if you're in Sun, Roost if you're not in Sun. Terra Blast Fire in Sun is really good. You could also do other Terra Blast special Terra Blast moves, but if it's not Sunny Day, maybe not Fire. You can do Fire, but you could also do like Ghost, you could do Flying. But again, if you're going to do Terra Blast, if you're going to Terra Flying, just probably run Air Slash, you get the flinch chance. Yeah, so this set is absolutely heat and can help mix up your Rowlets. So like there's a set, there's like you prepare for the 3 other sets, but not the special fourth set. Is a little bit on the more niche side, but it definitely has some use cases and some matchups where it can do work. So those are the sets for Rowlet. Rowlet is a very either it works or it doesn't kind of mon. And here is kind of like what I mean by that. It's like Rowlet can either just like destroy, or it can be it has some hard counters that it can just like not. You probably want to Baton Pass on some of the counters if Baton Pass is legal at spot point anyway. So, the final wine Swirlix rating for Rowlet. Before we get into it, make sure to like, comment, subscribe for these videos, man. I put a lot of effort into them. As you can see, I do have some hiccups with the Sunny Date and stuff like that, but I put energy into these to try and make them like nice for you guys, so I would really appreciate the support. Share the video with a friend who needs to learn about Rowlet as well, and also help share it with a friend and comment down below who you want to see next. The final Swirlix rating for Rowlet, that's going to be a C, a 7 out of 14. It's a really nice like budget kind of gas type that can also be like immune to immune to like sporing moves. It can also be like as a flying, it's nice to, you know, dodge them spikes, but you also run like heavy duty boots for stuff like Stealth Rock, and you can Terra and have HDB there. But Rowlet is a very like nice and underappreciated 7 out of 14 picks. For its utility, it has really high peaks as well. So, and the stats just make it like so nice and such like a different amount of roles. So please try and check out Rowlet for your next draft league and the Little Cup. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been your boy Soulblaze. As always, I'll see you guys in the next piece of content that I want to make and create for you. Take care of your families, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!